Good morning, welcome to Planet Mojo. Today I'm going to be installing the spigots on my self-draining freeze-proof water lines. One of the things I need to do is hook up the water line temporarily. There's going to be a fairly complicated set of valves and stuff here so that I can shut off one part of the water during the winter, and I'm not going to put that in right now. So what I need to do is hook up the end of the PEX here to the hydrant, and I'm hoping to do that with hose fittings. I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second. Let's go back to this one. This one is going to be the hardest by far because I need to get that spigot on the outside of the building. I need to get it lined up with the ribs in the panels out there. There's a rib right here and the other one's way back here. So the center would be about right here. It'd be nice if I could do it down lower. It's possible. I would have to yank out some more insulation. I'm going to have to patch this area up anyways. So that would be right here. Yeah, it'd be nicer if I could put it right here. What I got to do is put a piece of wood behind this brace and screw that wood to the brace, right through the brace, and put some glue on there. Then I'll have like a piece of wood hanging out, and that's what I'm going to screw the spigot to from the outside. This will be, I'll have to drill a hole through the metal on the outside, get this attached permanently, get a short piece of pipe on this. Yeah, this is not going to be an easy one right here. The one out front is going to be easy. Eventually, I'm going to have a sink right here that will be able to be shut down for the winter. But for this year, all I'm going to do is put a spigot right here. That way I can connect a garden hose and I can do all my mixing and stuff here in the shade, which is what I'm going to use the sink for as well. But for this year, I'll just use the back of the gator. So what I have for that is this little spigot right here and a drop ear that has a PEX end and a 1/2 inch FPT female pipe thread. This is 1/2 inch male pipe thread, so that'll thread right into there. So that should be pretty easy. I don't want to start with the easy stuff, so moving over to this, one end of this should go right onto the hydrant, and the other end, that's what I'm worried about. This is a garden hose thread that should go on there. I'm just hoping it goes on there tight enough. And I could not find a 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch that was straight. So I got this elbow. So it's going to be kind of hard to see. But the elbow will go on like that. And this will go on to the PEX. And I got this plug just in case something goes wrong, so I can plug up the one over there. If I can't get that hydrant to the PEX hooked up, then none of it's going to work. But I think I'm going to start with that side one over there. That one's going to take the longest. So I think all of the stuff for that is over there except for some wood. What I need is a 2x6, and I should have one right around here somewhere. Yeah, here we go. So nice clean section of 2x6. Now we can just set this here. All right. I'm wondering if I can just slice this and then pull it up and over so I can work right there. This is the insulation that was behind the brace there. It'd be nice to have that back in there, but it's in the way right now, and I need to get that pulled out. Once I get that wood brace in there, hopefully I can cut that and put it on the top and the bottom of it. Okay, let me peel back this insulation, and that'll be our start. Okay, that went a lot quicker than I thought. All I did was cut it right down the seam, grabbed the first piece of wood I could find, pushed it up over the girt, and wedged it in place. Worked out really well. Okay, now I'm going to mark the location on here. Yeah, this is going to work out really well. I want to be, roughly 12 inches off the ground. I don't want it to be in the snow in the winter, but I don't want like a hose dangling from up high. So the ground is roughly 6 inches down from here. So anywhere right in this area is going to work just fine. All right, let me take my marker and mark the edges of the profile here. Yeah, I think what I'll do, it'd be nice to drill through from the other side and get it dead center, but we'll see how that works out. Okay, I have the edges of the ribs marked right here, and then I measured over the same distance from both sides. So right between these two lines, right there, that's 8 inches up from the top of the grade board. That should do it right there. I don't want to get too far away from this, like going down to 6 inches. I don't have enough meat behind here. I'd like to get that board that goes behind here pretty much behind there, and if I can get 4 screws in it, that would be great. And then the board will come down like that far or so and have a hole in it right there. We'll get to that in a minute. What I'm going to do is drill a tiny hole right in the center of that. Then I'll go on to the outside with a little bit bigger drill and get it exactly in the center. And then I'll take my step drill and drill it to the right size. Kind of like how I did this. I'll show you that from the outside. That is dead center between 2 ribs. It's almost the size of the ribs, but there's no other way that would have looked good other than dead center. And it's pretty much the same with this. I want it to be dead center in between the ribs. All right, let's get that hole drilled, and then we'll get a hole through the building for the spigot. We'll have to figure out what size that needs to be. All right. Little hole in the tin there. Okay, now figure out the size of this, get my step drill, and we'll head outside. All right. I've never really been thrilled about how this would work, because if I use this fitting on this spigot, I have to drill the hole through the wood that I use as a backer. I would have to drill the hole so that it would clear this nut that's built into this, and that would be an 1.1/8 hole. And if I just use like black pipe, see if I can do this one-handed, then I only need to drill a 1-inch hole, and it's nice and tight. So if I do the 1-inch hole and black pipe, I can slide this through from the outside, get it exactly where it needs to go, screw it in place, and then screw it to the bracing there. And it'll be really nice and secure with this in there. it'll be sloppy in there, and I don't want that, because when you're hooking up a hose to this, it's going to wobble around and eventually it's going to tear up the siding out there. There's only this tiny little space between this notch and the pipe as it is, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I need a 6-inch nipple and an elbow, and then we'll just connect this right to the elbow, do it at an angle, and that would be like right here, and this will just go right to it. So I'm going to put that plug in this and we'll just continue on. I'll get that stuff when I go to the store next time. So I'm just going to leave that hole the way it is. Well, let's go out and look at it real quick. Then we'll get this plugged up. Then we'll do these other two. The hose splice connection over there and the hose bib out in front there. Here's my little hole, and it's basically dead center. So hopefully these won't get in the way too much, and we'll be able to silicone the top of that. But yeah, I like that height. That's going to work out perfect. The spigot isn't going to get used all that much, but when I do burns in the prairie, it's going to come in real handy. I have another spigot over there, but I don't know, that's probably 100 feet away. It'd be nice to have one right here. I can also hook up to the faucet inside once I get that put in, but this will just be nice to hit this entire area right here when I do burns. Yeah, looking beautiful out here. Okay, let's get the splice going from the hydrant over to the pecs. We'll get that one done first, and then we'll put the plug on that, and then we'll get that front done. All right, we'll start at the hydrant. This is a washer hookup. These are generally much more leak proof than just a short piece of hose. I might have to tighten that a little bit with pliers later. Alright, in case you're wondering, these are big old aluminum wires. That's my power for the shop here. Alright, so I grabbed some fittings when I was across the street. I'm going to need this fitting here and this fitting here. I always open these bags on the gentle side just in case I got to return them. I usually get extra fittings just in case, and then take the ones back that I don't need. Okay, so that's going to go in there, and yeah, this one right here, yeah, this is it. Alright, I gotta go get some Teflon tape and get that taped up and tightened up, and I will be right back. Alright, I'm going to get a pliers and tighten these up good. Alright, that's the only thing I had over here, but it'll work. we go. Okay, let's go get that spigot on. Before I get ahead of myself, better get this thing plugged up or we will have a big mess over here. Should be good. Alright, now we can head out front and get that spigot in. Okay, this one should be very straightforward. All I gotta do is connect the spigot to this drop here, get some tape on there first, get it nice and tight, and then I can screw, well actually I'll crimp this and then pull it where I need it, screw it to the wall, and we should be done. Just got to make sure that the spigot is aimed in the right direction. I could actually have it aiming sideways like that, but then it won't drain as good. I want it right about there. Okay, probably just cut this right up here. Okay, that should work. Okay. Now, I just need some, actually, I think I'm gonna loosen the fitting above that. I need to find some screws that are gonna fit this, and then we'll get this fastened in place and give it a test. Okay, get our stuff out of the way, just in case. And we'll go test this out. If you've been following the channel, you've seen me put this in last year. It goes through the unheated space up there, so this line will freeze in the winter, but it's self-draining, so all I got to do is open that spigot, and I don't know if I showed you this or not, but it's going to have this valve system right here, right below the hydrant, and it'll drain right into the drain over here when I shut off the upper part. One of them goes up and over to there, and you just saw the other one. Okay, the moment of truth. There's quite a few places this could leak. See, when it's all set up, it'll be self-draining right into the drain right there. And there's going to be a sink and all kinds of stuff over here. Okay, icy cold water in there. Got a little bit of water right here. Where'd that come from? It's not leaking. Yeah, the water's spreading. It's leaking here. It's leaking at this joint right here. That's got to be tightened up. Doesn't appear as though this is leaking. Where the hell is this water coming from? It appears as though it's coming up from the ground. But that's not right. Holy crap. Well, that stuff's not good. I'll have to dry that off, find out where that's leaking. That's not good at all. No leaks there. We had no leaks in the entire system, and the entire system was pressurized, so there shouldn't have been a leak at the hydrant there. No leaks here. Nice and dry. All right. Tighten up that joint, but I'm going to need to turn this system off. Well, maybe not. Well, this sucks. I'm not really worried about this here. This has me worried. Oh, this pipe is sweating like crazy. Is that it? Oh, it's leaking right here. I believe all you have to do is tighten this nut right here to stop that. I'm going to look that up though, but I believe that's all you got to do. Just tighten this right here. Okay, so we found that leak. I can live with that. I'll just put a towel down and go look that up. This right here, I think I can do it. It probably only needs like a quarter turn. I think I can do it all hooked up like this. Let me give that a try. Okay, I turned this past a full turn and it's still leaking. What I'm going to do is shut the water off, take this fitting off. I'll redo the PEX fitting. I don't think the PEX fitting is leaking. I think it's this. But I'll get this hose off of here, retape this, and tighten it up better. It looks like it needs to be all the way on there. I wish they would have just had a hose right to the PEX fitting and I didn't have to use these two damn fittings, but it is what it is. All right, let me get that done. Yeah, we get water all over the place. I can open the spigot on the other end, but that's not going to drain out the whole thing. We're still going to have water here. So I'm going to have to cut this and get it into a bucket right away. What a pain in the butt. Oh, actually, I can take this off and then put it right into the drain. That'd be a little sloppy, but yeah, that's what I'll have to do. Okay. Got drainage there. Okay. I got that tightened as tight as I can get it. If you over tighten it, especially with brass fittings like this, you'll just split the brass. Okay. I have the hose on the other way around. Let's give this a shot. Feels cool from the water, but so far, no drip. Except for right there. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Yeah, I got a little water on my hand. Is it leaking from here? Or is that joint still leaking? Certainly not leaking like it was before, but yeah, I'm getting water on my hand now. Damn it. And this is leaking like crazy. Yeah, the only thing I can do is, well, actually, I can take this whole thing off and tighten it in the vise, but it very well may break. Yeah, that really sucks. I wish I could have got a fitting that was just straight, that went right from hose to PEX. I believe they make them, but they just didn't have them. Let me tighten this up real quick, and if that doesn't do it, I'm going to have to take this apart again. Yeah, this was on there before, and that's not leaking. It all feels like sweaty. Yeah, I can just turn this on when I need it, but I really want to leave it on so that I can just control it from out there and not have to come in here every time. Yeah, that's insane. All right. Shut her down again. It's trying to drain underground. It is draining as much as it can, but there's an airlock on this end. Woo! Okay. Yeah, I thought this would be a fairly quick job, but I knew if it was going to do any leaking that it would do it here, but I figured it was more likely to be these hose connections. See, it's only got that tiny little drip of water, but I was rubbing it off with my hand, so it would probably have several drips by now. All right, we'll cut this off, and then I'll have to take a grinder and take the fitting off. Take this off, and then we'll go put this in the vise, put some fresh tape on there, and tighten the piss out of it, see what happens. Okay, I used regular pipe dope on this, and I got it as tight as it's going to get. You can see starting to round stuff off. Got that rounded off. That's as tight as it's going to get. But while I was doing it, I damaged the PEX end. I think I can fix that, but if this thing doesn't leak, I'm going to be really surprised. Let me try fixing that with the needle nose, and we'll put this back on and pray for a miracle. Okay, this thing is still a bit mangled up, but I don't really think it's going to leak at this PEX joint, because where I put the crimp, it's round there, and the crimps go on pretty darn tight. So I have a bit of faith in the PEX, but I don't know what's going on with this other joint. So let's give this a try. Okay. Get this stuff out of the way. All right. This is completely dry. I wonder if I have that spigot open out here. Yes, I do. Luckily that didn't go whipping around in here, but now we have pressure on this. So far so good. Still leaking there. That's dry. Yeah, it gets so cold. This water is so icy cold. I don't know. It feels wet, but not getting any water on my hand. I think we may have it. All right, what I'm going to do, I'll put some paper toweling under this so I can see if there's any leaks, and I'm going to go see how to tighten up that hydrant. Okay, so if we have any leaks here, that'll catch it. I know it's leaking there, and hopefully that'll just continue to go that way and won't get my paper towel wet. Who'd have thought this was going to be such a hassle? Well, actually, I kind of thought it. Okay, nothing going on here. Beautiful. All right, let's go look that up. I was just going to head into the house and look that up, and I remembered our hydrant out here, when the barn was over here, right after our plumber put that in, it was leaking like that, and we have to have it on all the time. So I called him up, and he told me what it was, and I just remembered that. What it is this brass rod from here goes down to a plunger in a valve underground. And when you lift up the handle here, it pulls that plunger out of the valve, and this whole thing fills up with water all the way here, and this goes right through the water. So what this actually is a packing nut. Let's get this all the way open like that, and all I got to do is get a pipe wrench on this flat part right here and tighten up that packing nut just a little bit, maybe a quarter turn. You don't want to tighten it up too much. They make it so that you can tighten it up a little bit here and there for many, many years. So we'll give that about a quarter turn, and that should stop the leak. And the reason for the pipe wrench on there is so this shaft doesn't turn. There's a valve at the bottom of that. There's video of me putting this in, what was that, 2 years ago now. Alright, that should do it. And there's absolutely no leaks on this paper on the ground, so pick that up and dry this off. And we'll see if this remains dry. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's gonna work. Okay. A little bit of drama, and it took probably twice as long as I was expecting, but we are pretty much leak free. I don't see any water anywhere. Got a little bit of sweat, but it's really humid out, and this water's really cold, so that's to be expected. None of it's hitting the floor though. I dried this area off. It's probably going to take a good while to get completely dry, but I'll check this every once in a while and make sure we're not leaking here. But other than that, I think we're good to go. Let's go check that little plug one more time. And I'm going to put a hose fitting or a hose end on the hose out front. Beautiful. So when I get this part put in, hopefully we have no leaks there, and if not, I'll be able to seal up this wall. That wall is incredibly hot, and if you go over to where the insulation is, feels really nice. It's actually much cooler in here than it is outside, even with this open like this, because we have the coolness of the earth coming up on the concrete, and everything else is insulated pretty good. Still got to do more insulating, but it's pretty good. All right, so yeah, I got a lot to put away. Here's my old-fashioned paste. Yeah, look at all this stuff, and I have a big pile of stuff in there. It's going to take me another half hour to clean up. All right, let me get this on there. This one has my nice, where is it? I think it is the full setting, which is really nice for filling up jugs and filling up the sprayers and stuff. Now, with this setup, I'll be able to fill right here. I'll back the gator up right here and use this as my workbench and fill and clean and do all that stuff, and won't have to do it over there in the sun anymore. Okay, that was another place I could have had a leak. These hose fittings leak a lot. By running the water like this, I'm going to get a bunch of condensation on the hydrant back there. So there may be a little water from that, but we'll be checking it when I haven't used the hose here and make sure it's not leaking. Okay. One last check. Still dry. Still dry. Still dry. But this is ice cold and has some condensation on it. Once I get everything built the way I want it, well, it's not going to be humid in here to start with, so I won't have as much of a condensation problem. But this stuff is going to be insulated and inside of a cabinet, so we're not going to have any dripping or anything like that at all. All right, beautiful. Okay, so this is my basic setup for the rest of the summer. I don't know, maybe into next year. Until I get that sink built, this is what I'm going to do for water over here. I have to fill these pretty often. These are for watering the young plants when it's droughty like it is now. But even more than that, I need to fill the sprayers. This one holds 3 gallons, and what I've been doing up till this point is, well, filling it halfway over there, bringing it back here, putting all the chemicals in it, shaking it, going back over there, filling it the rest of the way up, and then bringing it back over and shaking it again. Now I can do everything here in the shade. I hate working over there in the sun, especially when it's really humid like it is today. This is going to be really nice. I really wish that I could have got that back spigot in, but I don't think that's going to be too big of a deal once I get those parts. I'll have to do that in a separate video. Just double checking, making sure we got no leaks. I don't think we will. I think everything is good now. Yep, still damp from before, but no dripping anywhere. Nope, completely dry. Beautiful. I'll be putting this spigot in about a week, but I'll be planting all of these prairies within the next couple days, so it's going to be really busy this next week. So if you want to see any of that, make sure you subscribe and click on the update icon. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comment section below. And if you share the video and or give it a like, it helps the channel out greatly. Thanks for watching and have a great day.